Targeted to those shopping here at Kohls Flea Market yesterday evening. They got the call here on North Main just after 5:30, and when officers arrived, they found 5 people shot, 3 adults and 2 children. Unfortunately, 1 child has died as a result, and we have not yet had any word on the condition of the other victims. We also don't know the ages or any other identifying information of the children or adults. Officials say it's unclear how many people were at the flea market at the time of the shooting, but noted it is a busy place on the weekends. Initial reports say it started as a disturbance between 2 people that ultimately resulted in gunfire.
I'm not sure if they both had firearms, if one person had firearms. I do not know the number of rounds that were fired, but it appears as though it was 2 subjects that got involved in a disturbance, and that's what resulted in the shootings. It does not appear to be any kind of targeted attack on the flea market. Again, this appears to be a disturbance that occurred at the flea market between 2 individuals, and shots were fired in the process. We're working to get more information on that.
So officials are turning to the public for help. Pearland Police has an anonymous tip line you can call with any information, whether big or small. That number is 281-997-5828. Again, 281-997-5828. Reporting outside Kohls Flea Market, Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
Shelby, thank you. Well, a man was found shot to death in the Greenspoint area, and the shooter still on the run. Now, it happened on Greens Road near the North Freeway just before 11 last night. Investigators found the victim shot in the head inside a car. They say it looks like he was shot from outside of the vehicle. No details yet on a suspect or motive. We have an update now on the crash that killed 6 people in downtown Houston over the weekend, and that did include 3 former University of Houston football players. It happened early Saturday morning near Fannin and Pierce. Investigators say another driver ran a red light and hit the vehicle they were riding in. DJ Hayden, Zach McMillan, and Ralph Oragwu were among those killed. The driver at fault died as well, and at last check, 2 people are still in the hospital. DJ Hayden was a defensive coordinator at Second Baptist School. One of his players, J.D. Crisp, shared memories with us this morning on Houston's Morning Show of his beloved coach.
He meant a lot to me, and not just as a coach, he was a mentor to me and a lot of the guys. You know, he gave advice almost like a dad to me and to other guys, so it meant a lot, just him being around, you know, bringing that kind of joy to us as a team.
UH released a statement on their former players' death, saying in part, "We extend our deepest condolences to their families, friends, and loved ones as we collectively mourn the loss of 3 individuals who made an indelible impact on each life they touched." All right, let's turn to the Astros. They introduced their new manager this morning. They're promoting bench coach that is Joe Espada to fill Dusty Baker's position. The 48-year-old has been Houston's bench coach, that is, since 2018 and has previous experience with the Marlins and Yankees. Espada says he will now try to continue the Astros' record-setting run of 7 consecutive appearances in the American League Championship Series.
I want to thank the fans. The best fans in the world. Thank you for your support, for your unwavering love and support for this team. I'm emotional right now, but it's just because I have worked really hard to get to this point, and I just can't wait to get started.
This is Espada's first managerial job in the major leagues. Well, Congress is running out of time to avert a government shutdown, putting new House Speaker Mike Johnson to the test. Fox News correspondent Alexandra Hoff has more on the story from Washington.
It's the same government shutdown showdown, this time with a new speaker.
The last thing we want to see is a government shutdown.
Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson unveiled a 2-step plan over the weekend to avoid a partial shutdown before Friday. His stopgap spending bill would extend funding for some agencies until mid-January and others until early February. It's an unconventional move, but Johnson says the bill would prevent Congress from scrambling to pass a massive omnibus bill around the holidays.
This 2-tier, we're hoping works. We've got a handful of members that, for various reasons, don't like the Israeli money mixed with Ukraine money, mixed with military funding overall. It's a little bit confusing.
Speaker Johnson's plan does not include the funding requested by the White House for Israel and Ukraine. The White House saying it would put national security at risk, writing in part, quote, This proposal is just a recipe for more Republican chaos and more shutdowns, full stop. Even some fellow Republicans are expected to oppose the laddered continuing resolution bill.
It's tougher, to actually do than say, as the new speaker is finding out. The dynamics are the same under him as they were under Kevin McCarthy.
Even if Johnson can push his proposal through the House, it's still unclear if the Senate would embrace the two-step measure. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Israel's military carried out airstrikes against the militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon this morning, and this is after Israel says that the Iran-backed group targeted troops in their barracks. The war with Hamas also raging on, with hospitals in Gaza completely out of service. Get this, medics working by candlelight. Israel's prime minister says that he's willing to help patients and safely evacuate the staff there as well. Secret Service agents protecting President Biden's granddaughter opened fire after 3 people tried to break into an unmarked government vehicle. The agents, who are assigned to protect President Biden's granddaughter, Naomi, were out with her in the Georgetown neighborhood in Washington, D.C. late last night. And that's when they say 3 people broke a window of the Secret Service SUV, which was parked and unoccupied. One of the agents opened fire, but no one was struck. The 3 people were seen fleeing in a red car. Let's talk Texans. C.J. Stroud leading the Texans to the 5th win. They're now just a game away from first place in the division after beating one of the best teams in the AFC yesterday. Stroud back in Ohio to face the Bengals. He led a late 4th quarter drive to set up the last second winning field goal from the kicker we just signed last week. Final score 30-27. The Texans host the Cardinals this Sunday. Well, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal played his college ball at LSU, but his youngest child is opting for another SEC school. Mariah O'Neal, who is a senior at Episcopal High School here in Houston, signed a letter of intent to play basketball for the Florida Gators. Well, she visited LSU with her dad, but Shaq told her, go where you're needed, not where you're wanted, and says he wants his kids to have their own journeys and experiences. In September, Mariah made her official visit to Gainesville, Florida, and she says that solidified her decision to commit to the Gators.
I've known since the Florida visit, actually. I knew after that, so I've been holding on to it for a long time. But it was kind of fun because everyone thought I was going to LSU, so I was just dragging it on a little bit, but it was fun.
So I'm just so proud of her. She's the baby, so it is not easy, but it's super important. And I really wanted her to feel celebrated, because she is the baby, and she sat and watched all her siblings be celebrated in many different ways. So it feels good to do it for her.
Okay, and she was also surprised with this vehicle. Very nice. It is a Land Rover Velar, in case you're wondering. She seems pretty excited, happy for her, / jealous. All right, well, a blockbuster weight loss drug is now being credited for reducing the risk of heart problems. The news about Wegovy just released this weekend, and the study published in the New England Journal of Medicine shows Wegovy lowers the risk of serious, even deadly heart problems by 20%. And as you may know, Wegovy is in such high demand that most patients can't actually find it. The maker is increasing production, but warns the shortage could last until 2025. In the meantime, though, other drugs are coming onto the market. Most recently, Zepbound was given FDA approval for weight loss, and that's another version of Mounjaro. Well, today, Krispy Kreme is giving away some free donuts for World Kindness Day. The first 500 guests who visit each participating shop get a free dozen of original glazed donuts. Krispy Kreme customers are being encouraged to spread the kindness by using hashtag Krispy Kreme and tagging the chain in social media posts. The offer is limited to 1 per guest, in-store and drive-through only. We want to remind you, you can catch all your Fox 26 local news and content right on your smart TV. All you have to do is download the Fox Local app. And what's great is that it feels like coffee, warm chocolate, what is it called? Hot chocolate, there we go. A little donut, just great. Just the weather seems like just cozy weather.
Yes, Rashi, you described it perfectly. I need to say no more. It is very nice. We are going to be enjoying beautiful weather conditions out there, and overall, we are going to have some really nice weather that we are going to be dealing with. Let me step off and reset this for a second, but we do have basically, of course, a lot of rain that we've been dealing with for the area, but as we go into the next several hours, that rain will start to push out. So we've been dealing with widespread rain basically yesterday evening, last night, through much of the morning. But as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning, we are going to have those rain showers finally starting to push out. This is the graphic that I want. Now let's check out our live Fox cam, and you can see we've got the very low clouds out there moving through. We've had light rain showers, moderate at times, but fortunately no reports of any major flooding across the area. So that is certainly a good thing. But as we go into this evening and tonight, like I said, there's still going to be a little bit of rain, but the gradual shift of that rain off to the east will be taking place. So we've still got some low clouds out there, a little bit of light rain to deal with. It's been a dreary, cloudy, chilly, and at times wet Monday so far, but we are going to see some improvement slowly but surely over the next 12 to 24 hours. So 61 degrees in Houston right now, wind out of the north-northeast around 10 miles per hour, and we've got dew points in the upper 50s. That feels like temp right at 61. So normally for this time of the year, we're in the middle 70s, so we are close to 15 degrees below average. When you have those thick clouds and all of that rain around, temperatures just aren't going to warm up very much. So I want to show you what we have on our radar. This is for the last 30 minutes or so, and notice that it is not a blanket of rain like it was this morning. We've still got some decent showers from Houston, Angleton, Bay City, and areas off to the east, including Liberty over towards Winnie and Galveston, but it is starting to shift east. The area of low pressure producing this rainfall is gradually going to track east. So as it does so, the heaviest rain will stay off to the east as well. So we've got to get through the next few hours. Still some moderate rain showers out there, maybe a brief heavy burst of rain, but overall, like I said, the trend is for the majority of this rain to finally start to push out. I'm sure a lot of you are happy about that because it has been pretty cloudy and dreary over the weekend, and it's been fairly wet as well, pretty much all day long. So you can see some of the yellow and orange colors here indicating some of those heavier showers, and this is going to be down close to the coast, Angleton, Lake Jackson, Freeport, over towards West Columbia, Sweeney, some light to moderate rain for you. A little bit farther north up into League City, Santa Fe, Alvin, Taylor Lake Village, over towards Hitchcock, Texas City, still coming down pretty good. When you see that yellow being reflected by our radar, that is some decent rain coming down, some steady, moderate rainfall. Up towards Pearland, not quite as heavy there, but still some light to moderate showers. And then we've got basically some drizzle, very light rain, some mist still existing up towards the Houston area. So nothing heavy for Houston, but it is just going to be downright dreary out there with those very low clouds, the drizzle, the chilly temperatures. Definitely a great nap day. An extended nap would be great if you do have some time off. As far as rain off to the east, we've still got Anahuac, Winnie, Mount Bellevue, and just south of Liberty, we've got some rain showers showing up there. So overall, yes, it is still pretty soggy for most spots, but if you are north of Interstate 10, things are already starting to dry out for you. So I think the best shot for rain through this evening will be right along and south of Interstate 10. So the coastal spots will likely get the heaviest of it, and those temperatures will stay on the chilly side. In fact, we've got low 60s covering this temperature map. And like I said, that is well below normal for this time of the year. In fact, like I said, we normally are in the middle 70s, and we've got those temperatures hanging out closer to 60 degrees. As far as rain totals, fortunately, we're not seeing 2, 3, 4, 5-inch totals here because that would mean a much higher chance for flooding, but we are seeing those rain totals anywhere from about a trace up to close to an inch of rain. So we have had some decent steady rainfall, but this is actually the type of rainfall that we want. It has been steady, it's been light to moderate, it hasn't been super heavy. We haven't had flash flood watches or warnings, we haven't had a ton of flood advisories, so we haven't had many problems from this rain, but this is rain that will certainly help with those drought conditions. It's going to help relieve some of those drought conditions that many of you are still dealing with. So the heaviest rain has been down around Sugar Land, where we've picked up close to an inch, a little over a ½ inch of rainfall out at Bush Airport, Hobby Airport, a little over a ½ inch as well, close to 6/10 of an inch of rain over towards Galveston, and over 3/4 of an inch of rain up towards Conroe and about 0.32 inches for Huntsville. So a little over 1/4 of an inch for Huntsville, Brenham, and close to 3/4 of an inch for Columbus. Only a trace reported in Wharton, so you kind of missed out there, but the majority of the area has been dealing with some decent steady rainfall, and some spots are getting close to an inch right now. As far as alerts at this point, we do still have a wind advisory. It's already pretty windy out there, and I think the wind will start to settle down as we go through the overnight hours, but the strongest of that wind has been situated right along the coast. So we do have a wind advisory until midnight. This is going to include the Bolivar Peninsula, Galveston Island, Jamaica Beach, and the Quintana area. So if you are right along the coast, be prepared for some possible wind gusts, maybe around 30, 35, maybe briefly even up to 40 miles per hour. We've got sustained wind in Galveston right now at 18 miles per hour, Bay City sustained wind at 20 miles per hour, and we've got wind sustained for the Houston area right around 8 to 14 miles per hour. So let's check out those gusts, because that's what I'm more concerned about. The gusts that could maybe blow some lightweight loose objects around in your yard. And we do have gusts showing up between 20 to 30 miles per hour right along the coast. That would include you in Galveston, Angleton, and also down around Bay City. So we do have some pretty windy conditions. Strongest of that wind will be south of Houston, right along the coast. And yes, you will be under a wind advisory. Like I said, down around Galveston Island, Bolivar Peninsula, Brazoria Island until midnight. So here is the deal. Rain is slowly winding down. It's going to take a minute, but at least it is starting to push out, and it will become lighter, less widespread. I think it's completely out of here by tomorrow afternoon. We do have a stretch of beautiful weather, gorgeous days ahead, I think, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday especially. Decent amount of sunshine. We should be completely dry, pleasant temperatures. We will start to warm up a bit ahead of that next front, which is about a week away, but even that warm up will not be extreme heat. At our warmest, we'll likely get into the middle to upper 70s ahead of that next front. So that is certainly some pleasant, great fall weather. So no major heat wave headed our way anytime soon. Here's what you can expect as we go through the next several hours. Maybe you have some evening plans outside. Maybe you're going to grab dinner, going for a workout, going to run a few other errands. Those temperatures will likely hang out in the upper 50s to low 60s, basically for much of the night. You will notice, though, that the rain will start to taper off a bit in some spots, become lighter, less widespread, and I think it should end completely by tomorrow afternoon. So here is the culprit. This is the big weather maker. We have this area of low pressure formed, developed near Brownsville, and it's been tracking off to the north.